TikTok, a social media with an average of 1 billion monthly users, with several harmless trends. With the amount of content published daily, there are always dangerous trends that go under the rug. Welcome to the TikTok Dangerous Trends Iceberg. Welcome, viewer. On this iceberg, we start with the least dangerous and not that stupid challenges, and then we go to the most dangerous or the most idiotic. But now, without further ado, let's go. I'm Sir Chris. I explore the internet and I make videos about it. Frozen honey. This trend, with a total of 2 billion views, is one of the most harmless and predictable. In this trend, several users put honey in empty bottles and froze them, with the intention of heating them hours later. There were some that had more ingredients, such as corn syrup, candy, and even water. Several users liked it, others didn't, but those who hate a lot definitely regretted it, because if you heat too much honey, you can get diarrhea, or even worse. Cereal bowl. The cereal bowl challenge consists of two people. One of them lies down, and the other uses the other's mouth as a cereal bowl. In addition to the bowl being able to choke, there were those who simply dunked the other in milk. Cinnamon challenge. Easily one of the oldest challenges on this iceberg. This challenge appeared in 2001 but became popular in 2007 on YouTube and Twitter. So popular that it was even made on Big Brother UK, on several radio stations, and even several comedians and basketball players participated. In the challenge, participants would have to put a whole spoonful of cinnamon powder in their mouth and swallow it without the help of water. Sounds, and it's dangerous, because when it enters the mouth, it ends up drying and covering the inside, which, when coughing, if it enters the nose, it can cause damage to the lungs or worse. In 2012, American poison control centers received more than 100 of calls regarding this challenge. Dry scooping. Dry scooping is the same method as the previous challenge. Dry scooping is the method of putting an entire scoop of any supplement in the mouth. This term is more popular in the fitness niche, being the most common supplement used, the pre-workout. Because it is dangerous, if we search dry scoop on TikTok, it's banned. But it's easily found out on the app by just removing one O. And like the cinnamon challenge, it's dangerous because when you cough, if the powder goes into your nose, it can damage your lungs. Devious lick. Devious lick was a challenge on TikTok in 2021, which consisted of students stealing or vandalizing school objects. This trend started after a user posted a video showing a box of masks that he allegedly stole from school. From then on, it just rated more videos, but worse. There were those who took this challenge even further, with carpets, computers, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, and even the keys to the bus. And of course, there were students who were arrested. Throw it in the air. Throw it in the air was a challenge where 5 people were in a circle, and an object was thrown in the air. If it fell on someone, that person was eliminated. A harmless challenge with light objects, right? Until people started using ladders, pallets, tires, chairs, etc. How are these people not afraid of breaking their backs? And speaking of backs, worse was a video that can be found on Reddit, where they threw a brick in the air, and unfortunately, someone was eliminated in the back. Ice cream lick. Ice cream lick challenge is about, exactly, licking an ice cream. This challenge consists on the participant going to a supermarket, take an ice cream from the shelf, lick the ice cream he didn't buy, and put it back, so the next customer would get a licked ice cream. There was even a video where a man licked and spat into the ice cream. So much so that, like the others, it appeared on the news. And as the trend became more common, there were even police officers protecting the ice creams. You know you're f***ed when it appears on the news. Bloody mask. This one is so disgusting. I'll be careful with my words. This trend was about skincare, but this one has an extremely disgusting ingredient. The school period. If you know what I mean. These people, more specifically women, put these liquids on their faces because they thought it would treat the skin. But the opposite was proven by a Canadian doctor through a short here on YouTube. Let's just go to the next one. Kia Challenge. This trend got its name from a series of car thieves, especially Kias and Hyundais, in the United States and Australia. These robberies occurred due to several models of these brands not having an immobilizer system. And they started the car with a USB cable. The TikTok video shows how the Kia Boys, a group known for stealing these cars in the United States, did it, and these encouraged several robberies. And the trend consisted of just getting into a Kia or Hyundai and stealing it. Just that. One Chip Challenge. One well-known. One Chip Challenge consists of eating a potato topped with the two hottest peppers in the world, the Carolina Reaper and Scorpion peppers, and seeing how long we can last without drinking anything. This challenge is responsible for sending several people to the hospital, including myself one day. Wax in the face. Waxing has been around for several years, and it's commonly used on the legs and even on the forehead. And it's no wonder that this type of content is very popular on TikTok. But there was a trend where users would put large amounts of wax on their face and then peel it off. The problem comes when the wax covered highly sensitive areas like around the eyes and ears. The other challenge was a trend where a person pretended to have a disability through various behaviors, gestures, and expressions, with the sole intention of making fun of those who suffered. Fortunately, with the pressure of the community, the videos of this challenge were removed. Of course, a good part of these videos were children, but there was even a policeman participating. I don't get it. Who looks at this and says, yeah, let's make this a challenge. Salt and Ice. Salt and Ice was a challenge where the participant puts salt on the arm and then presses the ice on top of the salt. The salt caused the water around the cube to drop a lot, and the objective was to see how long the person could hold it. This trend was dangerous due to causing 2nd to 3rd degree burns pretty quickly, which even tough did it, and at worst, they can cause blisters, nerve damage, or even permanent skin damage. Challenge. This trend was a challenge where people leaked everything to try to catch the coronavirus, and this challenge gained popularity during the first wave of, at least in Portugal. The challenge consisted of leaking totally disgusting areas, like toilets and even supermarket products. Karma came, and one of the influencers who leaked the toilet got Slap a Teacher Challenge. The Slap a Teacher Challenge consists on slapping a teacher. This trend worried schools so much that they even gave various warnings to students, and even has a post on Twitter. Several sources say that this challenge was actually a hoax, but unfortunately, there were those who followed this challenge and hit a teacher. That student was Lariana, who allegedly was arrested for only 5 years. Blackout Challenge. From here, the challenges start to get very dangerous and even deadly. The Blackout Challenge is a challenge where an individual had to hold his breath or even asphyxiate himself in order to pass out or to feel a slightly sensation of euphoria. I don't even need to say why it's dangerous. This challenge is responsible for several child's deaths, including Griffin, Milagros, and Antonella. Tide Pod Challenge. Apparently, YouTube don't like this challenge, and I will not try my luck. It all started in December of 2017 through internet memes. With her persistent presence, in 2018, it turned into a challenge, which consisted of the participant eating a Tide Pod. Needless to say, it's a bad idea. The worst thing is that this was already happening, even before it became a challenge. In 2012, poison control centers received around 8,000 calls related to these events. Borg Challenge. The Borg Challenge, or Blackout Rage Gallon, was a trend where students took a gallon of water, they put it out the amount they wanted to make room for the vodka, and at the end added a flavoring of their choice. This challenge even took a dozen of students to the hospital due to the mixture that encouraged them to drink too much. Even worse is that if we search Borg on TikTok, we can see several recipes where they put 2 whole vodkas, which is 43 portions of alcohol, which is mostly fatal. Door kicking challenge. I sound like a journalist repeating the same sentence. This trend is one of the stupidest. The challenge consisted of going to a bedroom door, kicking it hard, and then running away. But from bedrooms, they went to houses. So much so that in a neighborhood, a person got fed up with the whole attempts of this challenge and placed a fishing line near the entrance, which, after kicking the door, he falls and a fight ensues. Borax challenge. Borax is a source of boron. Boron is good for the bones and joints. But the problem is the amount of boron presented in borax. In this trend, the participants put a teaspoon of borax inside the water bottle, believing in the benefits it brings. In a video by a nutritionist, she explains that in supplementation, the recommendation amount is 1 to 3 milligrams. But the problem is that 1/16 of a teaspoon of borax contains 250 milligrams, and a whole one has 4 grams, since the lethal dose is between 5 to 25 grams for adults and 5 to 6 grams for children. What is the problem of people and cleaning products? George Floyd challenge. George Floyd was an African American man who died on 25th of May in 2020 after an employee allegedly accused him of using fake money. When the police arrived, one of the officers, Derek, immobilized him and kept his knee on George's neck for more than 9 minutes, and thus killing him. George Floyd's challenge consisted of 2 people replicating the tragic way in which George died, simply with the intention of gaining fame by making fun of someone's death. Fortunately, there were several measures that were taken. Skullbreaker. Skullbreaker was a TikTok challenge which consisted of 3 people. The ones on the borders jump first, and then the middle one jumps alone. And without her knowing, the ones on the borders kick her legs while in the middle of the air. Sarah Platt was an 18 years old woman who suffered from this trend. She broke her neck and a vertebrae in her spine when she fell, and unfortunately, there were those who died in this challenge. Benadryl challenge. Benadryl is a pill for allergies, and this challenge consisted of a person consuming an absurd amount of pills, while documenting the effects of hallucinating or even tripping. The problem is that they forget that there are consequences. There were several children who were hospitalized after this challenge, such as Jacob Stevens, a 13-year-old child who died while replicating this challenge. Labilo challenge. This challenge became known in France and Belgium. This challenge had several names, but the best known is Chapstick challenge, which consisted of the participant recording himself putting on lipstick, and at the end it ended, the participant would take his own life. In just a few days, the hashtag had already millions of views, and fortunately, this hashtag no longer exists. Challenge. It consisted on students making a call to the police, saying that there's an active in the school. And of course, the police took these calls seriously, even more so in America. In this challenge, there were a total of 18 American schools that suffered from this. The worst thing is that they could be helping those who really need it, but no, someone wanted to do a TikTok challenge. Victims. This trend consisted of people impersonating victims who died during the Holocaust, and in it, they will tell the viewer who they were and how they died, being the most common way, the gas chambers. Death diving. Death dive was a trend where a person would jump from a great height with their arms outstretched, but before they hit the water, they would bend. The goal was to pretend that they were going to fall on their belly, but in reality, they didn't. It's not that bad if it was well executed, but in the worst case scenario, someone will suffer, especially when we say that many children use TikTok. In curiosity, there is even a website from a bridge in Florida known for many attempts, where on the website they say the number of people who tried to commit suicide on that bridge, along with the real experience of those who tried. Anyone who jumps from a point close to the center of the bridge hits the water in 3.5 seconds, at about 75 miles per hour. The impact usually breaks bones and ruptures organs. Some live for minutes before they drown. Penny challenge. No, it's not about the YouTuber who traveled across America with 1 cent. This challenge consists of connecting half of a mobile charger to the plug, and with 1 cent touching the charge connectors while it's still on the plug. Doing so would cause the plug to explode, or even start a fire. The worst thing is, most of the people who participated were teenagers, in which they will do this challenge at their schools. Hot Water Challenge. This challenge has 2 varieties, both of which are dangerous. The first consists of a person throwing boiling water at another person without them knowing, and the second consists of throwing boiling water into the air at negative temperatures. Needless to say, both had serious consequences. There were several people who left with 2nd to 3rd degree burns, and there were even those who lost their lives. Angel of Death. The Angel of Death consists on the participant running and jumping in front of a moving car. The challenge was completed if the car stopped before running over the victim. Even saying this out loud sounds stupid. This challenge started in Indonesia, and in the same country, 2 teenagers lost their life by replicating this challenge. The worst thing is that these 2 were not the only ones jumping, but in fact, there were 16 in total. Blue Challenge. This challenge is unfortunately well known. In 2016, the Blue Challenge appeared on the internet, a challenge that consisted on 50 days with 50 challenges, where in the end, it ended with the participants. But once again, in 2021, the challenge came to curse the internet, as stated in a video of a user named Lisa. She mentions the fact that there were accounts with one image in particular, which forced people to participate, and if the person refuses, they would harm the person's family. Unfortunately, this challenge has already led several children and teenagers to commit harm, and is connected to a lot of suicides. And may the victims rest in peace.